Greetings, music fans. Bad hair day, forgive me. Ben Mankowski here, and today is an important date in music history. The night the progressive rock band known as Stíl Symphony made its debut performance. You can't really explore the history of Stíl Symphony without mentioning another Long Island band of that period, the funky groove rock band Ember, composed of Jason Fenichel on drums, Frank Gagliardi on bass, Phil Udvadia on guitar, and Tony Conning on vocals. It began in '94. Grunge was still pretty big. Alternative was mainstream, which really led people to wonder, if alternative is mainstream, what's the alternative to alternative? It was then that guitarist Rich Taylor was introduced to vocalist-guitarist Ben Mankowski, and yes, I will refer to myself in third person throughout the duration of the story, at an Ember gig. Both Rich and Ben were songwriters, influenced by various prog rock stars, and they realized they shared a common vision to craft musical masterpieces and perform them with the right set of musicians. The two jammed and composed while looking for just the right rhythm section to round out the ensemble. That search led to introductions at yet another Ember gig later that year. Ember was looking for a drummer who would fill in for Jason, who was heading off to college. One drummer who had auditioned was Greg Dell, a masterful percussionist who, although he didn't get the spot in Ember, was the perfect match for Stíl Symphony. His brilliant combination of power and subtlety, combined with his own songwriting talent, added even more variety and musicianship to Stíl Symphony's already eclectic style. The three honed their sound while looking for the last piece of the puzzle, a bassist. They had a set list ready to play, but the band was incomplete when once more their friends from Ember came to the rescue. Frank agreed to lend his bass-playing talents as well as some backup vocals to Stíl Symphony until they could find a regular bassist. This year, January 27th, falls on a dreary Monday, but 30 years ago it was a Friday, and that night at 11:30 p.m., in a Long Island club known as Finally Michael's, Stíl Symphony's first performance took place. They dazzled the crowd with a set of original songs, beginning a year of musical excellence. The shows continued throughout the year, with the group finally finding a regular bassist, Mark Lyons, who joined them in late spring of that year. The quartet dazzled dozens of fans at performances throughout Nassau, Suffolk, and Queens that summer and fall. They even managed briefly to catch the attention and ultimately to endure the rejection of a few record labels. The pressure of trying to get the big record deal, along with vocal issues due to bronchitis once and pneumonia another time, led to Ben's loss of confidence in his ability to continue and his ultimate departure from the band. A December night at a small forgotten bar in Ronkonkoma, New York, marked their final performance. There were originally plans for one more show in January of '96 with the hopes of attracting a new vocalist, but it was ultimately canceled and Stíl Symphony officially disbanded. Thus ends the story of one, really two of the greatest bands you probably never heard. Due to social media, Ben, Rich, and Greg have reconnected, all living in different states, but forever cherishing the memories of the music. No one's heard from Mark in well over a decade. If you're watching this, perhaps you're one of the dozens who heard us at least once. To Rich, Greg, and Mark, wherever you are, thanks for the music and the memories. And to the guys from Ember, Tony, Frank, Jason, and Phil, thanks for being together when you were and making all that possible. Looking back, we didn't hit the big time, but we sure had a good time. God bless.